Hello, lovely learners. Welcome back to ALifeLearned. Today I come to you on location from the trunk of my crap car. I wanted to share with everyone a little bit of the community work that I do with my car and with the ownership of a private car to explain, why I'm trying to fundraise to get another one, because I really do feel that this is great work and no one pays me for it, but I can only do it because I have a car. So specifically, I wanted to share about the salvaging that I do when the students move out. Being in a university and college city, we have a huge influx of students in September and a huge outflux, I guess you could call it, of students in April. That's not to say that some don't stick around in the summer, but the majority show up in September and leave in April. And specifically for the rich ones, that means that literally everything in your mother ends up on the curb or in a dumpster. And what I mean by that is any item you can think of that's household that you would need to live and to get by while at school, you'll find it in the garbage. And you'll find it perfectly usable, perfectly functional. Nothing wrong with it. They consider it garbage because they don't want it. And I'm laughing because I don't know what else to do. I'm so frustrated, like genuinely mad, frankly. By the end of it, got right mad at a few people because I would start saying like, hey, can't you bring that to the thrift store? And they'd be like, oh, I don't have time. Or they'd say, oh, I've already been to the thrift store a few times now. And it's just like, okay, well, it looks like you're not done going if you still have items that could be donated. And you make time for what matters to you. You made time to come here and dump, because there's several locations, I'll show you some clips, where they would like go to a cul-de-sac where they didn't live. That wasn't a location they lived. They just knew it was a place they could dump, and then they would dump their shit there. That was, again, perfectly donatable. And it's like, if you took the time to come here to dump, you have the time to find a thrift store and donate. It's just that it doesn't matter to you. So yeah, it matters to me is the end point. So I was really proud of myself. I thought I'd done 30 loads, that is filling this car to the brim, like back seat, front seat, and trunk 30 times. Turns out in my brain fog, because I started getting like really tired doing this and lots of pain, that it was actually 27 trips. And now I'm like, oh, that's an uneven number, that bugs me. Damn it. But I'm in a lot of pain, frankly, from doing this for 5 days straight, as well as a few days throughout the month before that. So I just don't have it in me to do 3 more to try and make it a even number of 30. I know, I'm ridiculous. But anyways, the point is I just wanted to share some clips with you guys of the 27 trips that I did between students' garbage and between dumpsters and like whatever I could find on the curb, and just like honestly sorting through nasty bags sometimes. But it led to, I'm quite sure, thousands and thousands of dollars in profits for the thrift stores that I donated to. So that's what matters to me. It was worth it, is the point. I've been doing this for years, just to clarify, but I've only owned a vehicle for a couple of years, so doing it to this level is new for me. The first year, I just like salvaged stuff for myself and my family, because I'm like, this is perfectly usable stuff and I could use it. And then the year after that, I salvaged for myself as well, but then I was just like, my god, this stuff is so perfectly usable, I can't just watch it go to waste. So I packed some reusable bags full of stuff and I just like trudged down 20 minutes walking to the thrift store and brought it there. The year after that, I packed some bags up, stored them in my apartment, and then asked my friend if she would help me get them to the thrift store. The year after that, I absolutely packed my apartment full of reusable stuff, and then I got my friend, an ex, he's the greatest, anyway, he let me stuff his car full of stuff, so that's what I did that year. And then the year after that, I finally had my own vehicle, so I packed it full, I want to say like maybe 6 times. Like, I didn't count last year, so I don't know how many times I did. But this year I was like, okay, I want to show people like what I'm capable of if I own a private vehicle, the kind of work that I would do for the community, because if I have a vehicle next year, you can bet your ass I'm going to be doing this again. And so yeah, 27 loads of usable stuff, literally tons of stuff, like every kind of item you could think of. And it was all just there because they didn't want it. So yeah, this is just a little perspective on the waste that Canadians produce. At one time, we were the worst producers of waste. And now when I Google it, I think the chart said that we're at number 8. So the 8th worst, but I'm also getting conflicting information when I try to look up online, so I'm not entirely sure. But I do know that we're at least in the top 10 for waste production, and being wealthy, that means that we produce just more and more waste as the years go on. So I figured this is some really good insight for those who don't realize just how much goes to waste and just how much you can donate when something is still usable. Like, I get it if you don't want to wash the dish and you're like, oh, it's all covered in grease or it's been built up because I haven't washed it in a long time. It's still technically usable, but I don't want to clean it. Like, then soak it. There's ways to make that easier to clean. And the point here is that waste production is a huge greenhouse gas output. And food waste is also a huge problem. You'll see that there were at least a couple bags of food that I found, there was like half dozen or so of full bags of food that I ended up finding and donating to the ARC mission here in London. ARC Aid mission, sorry. But yeah, the point of this video is just check it out. See all this perfectly good stuff that students are wasting and gain a little perspective on the amount of waste that Canadians produce and the difference that you can make by caring to donate instead of putting it on the curb simply because you don't want it. So, 27 loads later, I am battered, bruised, and beaten by all the objects that I was shoving in my car and banging myself up against trying to get in my car. There were a lot of pieces of furniture that I desperately tried to get in and just couldn't because my car's too small, and these are times that I really wish I had a van or a truck. I'm thinking in future years if I could fundraise to rent a truck, I might do that because I could accomplish so much more. But still, as you can see, even with this silly little car that's about to go off the road, I did a lot. I did quite a bit. I salvaged a lot of stuff that otherwise would have gone to waste, perfectly usable, perfectly good stuff. And I just wanted to say I think you can make that difference too. Maybe you don't have time for this level of salvaging. I respect that. I'm on assistance. I'm in a depressive puddle half the time, and I actually pulled myself out of that depressive puddle by doing this. I have the time. I get it. But the message is more that we make time for what matters to us. And so if you have stuff that you don't want anymore, just reconsider. Is this usable? Could someone still use this? Is it stained? They won't want it. Is it battered and broken? Like me, they won't want it if it's got breaks in it, if it's you know, stained and not resellable, so to speak. But if it's in generally good condition, maybe there's just a little bit of scratches here and there, but it's usable, please do consider donating. And if you don't have a vehicle to get stuff to the thrift store, if it's furniture, I really highly advise Googling. You probably have a Habitat for Humanity in your local community, and the Restore will pick up, at least in my area, they pick up for free if it's good furniture. There's also St. Vincent de Paul, they're all over the place, and they pick up for free as well. But if you Google your local area and just Google free furniture donation pickup, I bet you'll find a thrift store. If you Google food donations, pickup or drop off, you'll find locations. And you know, carpool, work with your friends, ask for help to get your stuff to the thrift store. You're capable of it. We can all work together to make a difference, even when we have limitations, even when we don't have vehicles, private vehicles to get us there. And so yeah, this is just a little video that ended up being a lot longer than I planned for it to be, to say to everyone, look at how much waste people produce. We can all make a difference by caring what we're producing, by picking up from waste we see on the side of the street if we do have a private vehicle in the time, and from just raising awareness and having conversations with other people that the stuff we use is never going to disappear. Everything you've ever seen, unless it's biodegradable, is still in the world somewhere. Just because it's gone to a waste dump doesn't mean it's gone. And it's important to be accountable for the items that you interact with, for the objects that you purchase and then throw out, for the waste that you produce. We are not the biggest cause, of course. There are like, 7 corporations are the main cause of greenhouse gases and the main cause of waste and problems. I know that. But we do still make a difference. You saw all that stuff that I got. That's a difference, right? You can do it too. That's the message. So anyway, If you have any comments, any thoughts, if you've ever done this before, please do, as always, share in the comments. I love to hear what you guys have to say. I love to hear your feedback. I appreciate your criticisms and your thoughts. And as always, do join me again next week or sometime soon, where I try again to share a little something I've learned or experienced in life.